Hey guys, it's Tregs. Welcome to day 14 of my commitment to you guys for a mental health walk and talk part of my YouTube channel for the month of June. Let's get into it. I'm out walking the hounds. It's a Sunday and I want to talk about a word I like to use a lot is trajectory. I got this from James Clear's book Atomic Habits, and it really will set you free, and it really set me free when I read it. Okay, what I read Atomic Habits by James Clear during the lockdown, and it kind of gave me a little bit of a sideways punch in the face because it's okay. I've been into self-development for a long time. A lot of people are like, oh, I ain't into all that. But if you're looking for a non kind of spiritual woo-woo, I'm up for all that, but you might not be. Intro into self-development, read Atomic Habits by James Clear because it's practical. There's nothing woo-woo about it. If you like woo-woo, you'll still like it, and that's why it gave me a bit of a jab, because I was all about visualization, manifestation, and still am, right? But this was about practical stuff to move towards your goals, and in that he spoke a lot about not being concerned about where you currently are, but being concerned about the trajectory. And one of my favorite quotes from that book is move slowly forward, but never backwards. I love that. And here's why this will set you free, okay? I've been coaching now almost 2 decades, and I meet a lot of people that will come to me and they'll be like, oh man, I got such a big mountain to climb. I need to lose 50 pounds. I'm not as young as I used to be. You know, back when I was in my 30s, it was this, or before I had kids. And they've already kind of built themselves up to fail because they've created this story of that. They're so far gone. They're so far gone, they can't be fixed. Like it just, because they're not young anymore and because they're so heavy and it's taken them years to put on this weight and they now it's just like, well, I can't because look where I am. And I've been that guy in the past, you know, I've had times where I just thought my habits were so bad I wasn't going to be fixed. If I had 1 packet of crisps, I was going to have 6, I was going to have 7. And that's not the case for me anymore. Because, you know, when you work on yourself, you can create a new identity. But let's not talk about identity tonight. I want to talk about trajectory. This is what will set you free, because everyone is trying to be so goddamn perfect. I'm going to be Monday, I'm going to be really dialed in, I'm going to do, and then we lay out this idea of what a perfect week must look like. Nobody's having a perfect week, right? But what we can do is we can get on a better trajectory, and this will set you free, even if you have a bad day. Like James Clear says again in Atomic Habits, never have 2 bad days, right? So you can have one day where you might go wildly over your calories or you drink a load of beer. Don't sit in your shit the next day. Get back to it. Have a good day. Once you've had 2 bad days, well, now, you know, we're going in the wrong direction. We're on that wrong trajectory. So being on the right trajectory, okay, is just a case of doing that every day and then rinse and repeat. And what that does is it takes the pressure off. Because look, if you truly want to change your life, you truly want to change your health and fitness, that's going to take time. And that is actually going to take a commitment for the long term. Like, stop going, I get, you know, you might have a holiday and you might have a deadline. Like, I've set myself a deadline this year of, oh, by the end of July, I want to be this weight. But all I'm really focused on is my trajectory. And if you just say, this is me, like, I'm going to focus on being a healthier person for the rest of my life, that will set you free, right? So trajectory. What will it set you free? Okay, well, let's say you've been doing less than 5,000 steps a day, drinking less than a litre of water a day, doom scrolling and having crap sleep. You start to fix those things tomorrow. Let's just say you get up, you do 7,500 steps, you drink 2 litres of water, and you create some sort of nighttime routine where you turn off a little bit earlier. You'll get into bed tomorrow night and you'll be like, I'm on a better trajectory. Boom. See, we've got to get rid of this all or nothing, I'm on, I'm off, I'm perfect, or I'm just fucking self-sabotaging. I've been that guy and it's horrible. And I feel your pain. It's normally the people that are in the worst pain, they're overweight, they're going down on a bad spiral that try and do all of it at once, when all you got to do is focus on the better trajectory. Now, a better trajectory isn't sexy. It's not. Unfortunately, you've got to have to buy into the fact that this health and fitness journey isn't sexy. It's doing the same things over and over again on repeat, which will ultimately make you feel bloody awesome. All right? So it might be boring, but it will make you feel awesome, okay? You try and do it all at once, you're going to crash and burn, and you're going to go around feeling miserable, going, why can't I get it? Why can't I be fixed? Do you see what I'm saying? So, when we focus on trajectory, we don't have to go around going, I'm so old, I'm just injured, I can't do what I used to do. One of my favourite spiritual teachers, and again, this isn't a spiritual video, it's a practical one, is Wayne Dyer. And one of his quotes, he said, we are where we are and where we are is okay. I am where I am and where I am is okay. Okay, so I will say this to a client, you are where you are and where you are is okay, because where you are is where you are right now. You can't go back in time, you can't go into the future, but you can make a decision to change and get on a good trajectory right now. And here's the great thing, when you get on a better trajectory, no matter how unsexy it is, you start proving to yourself, to quote James Clear again, decide who you want to become and prove it to yourself with small daily wins. He actually there's a graph in the book, you'll find it online. He says that if you become 1% better every day, I don't know where he got this number, but apparently if you get 1% better every day, that's 37% better every year. All right? And all of a sudden you've formed a new identity. That trajectory has now formed a new identity. 1% better every day, I'll have a bit of that. To become 37% better, what's that pro rata? Little David Brent, top of my head. I can't see why people don't want to buy into that. Move slowly forward, but never backwards. It is gonna set you free. But I see it, and I know where you are, bigger folk. And I'm not against you, bigger folk, getting those quick wins on the old John scales. Do you know what I mean? You want those quick wins on the scales early doors. But then, you know, a week later when it slows down, it's like, oh, it's not working. Oh, trajectory. And then when we talk about trajectory, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the scale. It's those non-scale victories as well. I'll have people that have had a great start, right? They have big weight loss. They weigh after a month and they're like, on week 4, I've only lost £1 pound. Well, what's your total loss? £10. Great. You know, you're never going to lose the same amount of weight on week 1, on week 4 that you did on week 1, right? But how are you feeling? Like, can I ask you a question? How's your energy? Better. Are you calmer around the kids? Yes. Are your clothes fitting better? Yes. You're less moody? Yes. How are you in the morning? Yeah, I'm better. You're on a great trajectory, mate. Like, how liberating is that? And I'm so passionate about this because I was that trainer. That was all or nothing, right? You've got to understand what led me into the industry was I was a frustrated, overweight runner. I wanted to fix myself, then help others. And for large parts of my career, I struggled, imposter syndrome. But it was only through this continual, like work on myself and reading books like that, where you're like, you know what, I like that. And again, if you're very practical minded and less spiritual, you know, James Clear talks about, like I said in last night's video, you know, how to break those bad habits. You know, those habits that you just go to after a long day because you're in reactive mode. You make them invisible. You take them out the house, or you make them unattractive. You make that feeling of self-sabotaging unattractive. Again, easier said than done. But a lot of people are just going around on autopilot. They're sat there on a Sunday night going, right, this week I'm going to change. I'm not going to have a Chinese. I'm not going to have wine. And then, bang, there's a long week and they just revert back to type because they don't understand the way they're thinking. They're being controlled by these habits that they've developed. Yeah, and here's a great thing, right? No matter what habits you've got now, no matter what behaviors you've got now, even if they come from trauma, as a reaction to trauma, and a lot of our habits are as a reaction to trauma. Something's happened in our life. I learned this at CBT, and it set you off on a little bit of a different tangent where your behaviors, you think they're the norm, but they're not. But they're your go-to. They are your go-to behaviors after a long day, after stress, after an argument, whatever it is. All right? When you become aware of them, then you can start to fix them. Most people are unaware. I was unaware of how much, why I was sabotaging with food until I had CBT therapy, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, that's not normal. Those behaviors aren't normal. Oh, hang on, if I just take a pause, the power in the pause. Yeah, if I eat 7 packets of crisps, I'm probably going to feel like shit tomorrow. But at the time, you're just on autopilot and you're eating them going, let's just start again tomorrow. Well, it's fucking Wednesday. I have to start again on Monday now, really clean. You know what I mean? And you look back and you how disordered that is. Like, I'm quite open and honest. I'll have one day a week where I have 4,000 calories and I do it guilt-free and I love it. But that's because I'm training more now, I'm leaning more now. It's never because, oh, fuck it, I'm just, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I've learned, and I just have that, and then the next day I get back up and I dial those calories back in. And that's liberating. That never used to be me. What, you self-sabotage on a Thursday? I thought 4,000 calories on a Thursday. Oof. It's like dropping your phone. I've got a stamp on it now. Smash it. Well, it only had a cracked screen. Why don't you pick it up and take and go and get fixed? Do you know what I mean? You know, if you drop your phone, it had a cracked screen, you don't smash it up. You just go and repair. That's what it is. High calorie day Thursday, pull it back Friday, easy. But it's having that mindset. Because most of us don't know that we've got these behaviours. And we're just going around and then we're like sat there on a Sunday night going, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. No, like not even reflecting on like why you fucked up last week. Oh, it's because it's nothing to do with the diet. It's because you know, my go-to when I'm stressed is sugar or whatever it is. You know, it might be RussianAmputee.com. I don't know, but that you've got something you revert back to. So going slightly off topic there, but trajectory, it'll set you free, right? Get on a good trajectory tomorrow. More protein, more vegetables, more steps. And again, it doesn't have to be like a prison sentence. I'll see people come into my life, into my world, and I'm setting them up in the app and I go, guys, I like to set you up with 3 habits. One's a water goal, one's a step goal, and the other one I'd like you to decide something you need a bit of a poke for. And they might say, it's to use MyFitnessPal to track protein. Great, okay? I remember one guy came in before and he was like, right, Tregs, I need 10 habits. One is I'm going to read, 20 minutes of a fiction book a day. I'm going to fast from this time to that time. I'm going to do a digital detox. I'm going to do 15,000 steps a day, 4 gym workouts a week. I was like, oh my God, because I'd seen this guy prior to him joining, like on my stories and all that kind of stuff. I was like, mate, like you ain't even run a bath, in the last year. You want to go running and gym and steps. It's just time. You got to build to that. When you just focus on being on a better trajectory, it's not like you're going to wake up the next day and it's like, oh my God, yeah, I've dropped a stone. It ain't like that. It ain't like that. But good trajectory Monday, good trajectory Tuesday, good trajectory Wednesday, good trajectory Thursday. All of a sudden, we're building habits, we're building systems, we're building confidence, we're proving to ourselves. Clients always say to me, Tregs, I'm going to prove to you. Don't prove to me, prove it to you. You got to prove it to you. It's what you do in silence that nobody sees. That is you're proving it to yourself, right? It's very easy to go, I did this, I did that. But what are you doing in silence? Are you a secret eater? I used to be a secret eater. That was something that my therapist highlighted over 10 years ago. He's like, do you do this? Like, do you go around the shop and say you're going to get something and then you'll get some sweets or some chocolates and you'll smash them all in the car before you go back home so nobody else can have them? I was like, oh, guilty. It's what you're doing in silence. If you've got kind of like, don't get biblical, you've got hidden sin. You know when you're doing it. Oh, yeah. I think, I just can't lose weight. Mate, you eat 3 bowls of cereal last night. At least be honest about it. It happens to me once a week. Do you know what I mean? Be honest about it. You can't hide from yourself. Oh yeah, but I was so good, and then you ate 3 bowls of fucking shredded wheat. Oh, that's quite not too bad, is it? You ate 3 bowls of sugar puffs. Been there. If I eat sugar puffs, just tell the lads. Do you know what I mean? You can't lie to yourself. But I want you to understand this week, if you've been doing 5,000 steps, you don't have to up it to 15. If you've been drinking 500 ml of water, you don't have to up it to 4. If you've been having 4 takeaways a week, if you're that far gone, you don't have to completely cut it out, maybe halve it. Trajectory, I know it's not sexy, I know you want to do it all at once, but where's doing it all at once got you? Where's it got you? Like said with the huge amount of love, okay? To conclude, I was watching a Jordan Peterson video once. It was not about fitness, but the guy asked him, Jordan, why do people fail in life? And he said, well, they didn't clean their room. That was top of my head. But he said they raised the bar too high. They raised the bar way too high. And then they fail. So if you're doing 3,000 steps a day and you got a 15,000 steps a day, you're going to fail. If you've done no running, you say, I'm going to start running 4 times a week, you're going to fail. If you go from 50 grams of protein a day to 200 grams of protein a day, you're going to struggle. Just focus on trajectory and being a little bit better every day. Try it for a couple of weeks. Try it for a couple of months. Try it for 6 months. You will change your bloody life. I hope this helps you guys.